All right. Live on Facebook, live on Instagram. Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name's Lucy, just in case you're catching me for the first time. I'm an empowerment and relationship coach. I love supporting with people. Oh my God, words this morning. I gotta drink more coffee. I love supporting people with all things relationships. I love supporting people in healing after heartbreak, in dating and finding, and then later keeping the relationship of their dreams. And today I wanted to come on and share a much more personal topic, a much more close to the heart topic because it's been really on my mind. It's been really on my heart these past few days. And well, these past few weeks, really. And I haven't fully spoken on this topic and the ripple effect that losing my nan has had. So I wanted to come on and share a few things, share a few lessons, if you would, share a few relationship gems, a few life lesson gems along the way. And it's very possible that I get emotional. It's very possible that I get emotional on this live. Just by the nature of my work, just by being a relationship coach and putting so much content out there, I think that I grew to be a lot more vulnerable in certain ways and a lot more private in other ways. And one of the ways in which I've become a bit more private, surprisingly, is like the big emotional waves that come into my life. And I'm learning to reveal that part of myself again in my work and online. And it's been an unfolding. It's been a bit of a journey, but my nan has had such a incredible effect on my life before she passed. And since she has passed, there's just been so much more dropping in from that experience. So I wanted to come on and talk about it because it has been humming in the background. And I think that as entrepreneurs, as people, when we lose people, we it's really thought about for a few days when the funeral's happening and the weeks leading up and all that kind of stuff. But then you forget how much it really does have an effect and how it is woven into different things in your life and different decisions in your life. And so I wanted to share that. So if you've lost someone recently, and maybe this is the loss in terms of death, and maybe it's just loss in terms of the relationship has been released, I think that there's some things in here that you'll definitely be able to resonate with, definitely be able to um, touch on. And then there might be some things that just elicit some thoughts about how you're moving through life at the moment, and I hope that these support you. That's my biggest goal of today, of being vulnerable, of being emotional, is that I just hope it supports, because I think there's nothing like life and death, actual life and death, to teach us about what is important to us in life and in death. So that's why I'm here. All right, let's get into it. I think I want to share a little bit about how everything ended up unfolding around my nan and around my nan's sickness. So in February, I went back to England, and my nan was clearly in some pain. She was having a lot of back pain, and when she called the hospitals, when she got seen by a doctor, they told her a sciatica. It came out a couple of weeks later after we got back to the States that it was not that, that it was, in fact, cancer that had metastasized in her spine, and that um, things were going to start happening pretty rapidly. So I decided to go back to England at that time and spend some more time with her. and hopefully lift spirits. And then I came back to the States and things progressed pretty quickly. And luckily, I say luckily, it breaks my heart that this happened, but she passed away surrounded by her children and her husband. And in the grand scheme of things, I can't think of a better way to go. So I'm really grateful that she had that. Lesson number one that I learned from this experience was that if people are important to you, if you really care about someone, make the time to see them, make the time to talk to them, prioritize them. That's the biggest thing I can say, is make sure they're a priority and do what you can to ensure that they feel like one. So that can look like doing things in their love language. That can look like really learning what matters to them and what's important to them and showing up for them in those ways. But after my nan passed, one of the biggest things that I have been interfacing with is the time we didn't have and the things I didn't say and that perhaps she didn't. It's really been present on my mind. I think back and, my nuclear family moved to the States when I was quite young. And so growing up, I didn't have the experiences of them coming to my graduation or birthday parties or just going over on a Sunday afternoon. And so I think about the times I didn't call or didn't send a message or talk on the phone or whatever it was. And it really has made me rethink how I want to move forward, how I want to engage with people going forward, and the people I want to place in priority positions in my life and make sure that I engage with them and talk to them and support them and I'm around for them. It's really honed in how important that is in terms of connection and fulfillment in life, but also just how much it's important to me and how I want to move through the world. And so my deep invitation for you is, if you have people in your life that you know are a priority, they are the people that you want to have around you until the end. Prioritize them. Make them create opportunities where they feel fulfilled and loved and cared for, because it makes all the difference. If those relationships that you prioritized feel strained, look at them, look at why they feel strained, look at where the bumps in the road are, and do something about it now. Learn the skills now, do the emotional processing now, so that you can really create lifelong, fulfilling relationships with them. I've just realized how absolutely important that is to me, and that how that will be going forward. I think about my nan, and when I was over in England in February, she sent me off to the store to get birthday cards to take back with the family in America and to give when it was time for everybody's birthday. But like for her, doing birthday cards was so important. It was that anchor to connection, to celebration of the people around her. And so that was one of the biggest, deepest lessons that I've learned. And I hope, if this strikes a chord, if this lands for you, my deep invitation is don't just let it land, let it move you forward. Let it activate you to action and connection with another person. So I'm going to take a sip of my coffee after that one. But that was such a deep lesson for me and will continue to be a deep lesson for me going forward. And I intend to do something about it and to make sure that the people I want to prioritize feel prioritized and loved and appreciated, because I know how important that is now. Also, feel free to drop comments. Feel free to let me know any thoughts that are coming up for you as well. All right, the second lesson that I learned is how powerful communication is. I've been harping on this topic a little bit. As you might have seen, I released a communication program. So if you feel like your communication is being, if you feel like you're being misunderstood, you feel like your communication just kind of goes out the window when you're in heightened emotional experiences, if you feel like you're always kind of engaging in that conflict and you never seem to be able to avoid it, definitely check out Communication is Sexy. It will absolutely help you in being able to express your thoughts and feelings clearly to another person so that they can understand it and so that you can avoid the conflict and increase connection. So the link is all over my page, but I'll drop it in the comments after this. But definitely check out that program, because I realize that communication is so incredibly vital, especially when times feel strained, especially when things feel hard and emotions are heightened. And it seems to be the thing that goes out the window kind of the fastest. And part of that isn't by choice, part of that is by circumstance. When you're in situations and things are happening so quickly, it's hard to get the thread of communication to all of the parties involved. And I've seen ripple effects of what that looks like and the impact that that has had. And so something that I've been focusing a lot more on is in line with prioritizing people, communicating, really honing in on my communication skills and asking myself, am I wording this in the way that I mean it? Am I giving the information in a way that someone can understand and receive it? Am I using my words to weave connection, or am I planting seeds for conflict? I've really started to think about how I talk to people, because communication, whether that is verbal or energetic or body language, communication is the way that we as people exchange information with other people. It's really the only way to get everything that's going on internally to another person. And so when we don't communicate, when we don't take the time to learn how to word things, or how conflict happens, or how to clearly articulate our thoughts and our feelings, things get missed and things have the potential to get really hard really quickly. And so the second lesson I learned from my Nan passing was absolutely do everything you can now to learn how to communicate, because when things are heightened, when you're sad, when you are grieving, when you are angry at the world and God and everything around you, communication is not going to be the thing you think about, but it's going to be the thing that you need to stay connected with another person. And so my second deep invitation is really look at your communication, really look at your communication skills at this point, the tools that you have to communicate, because it can make all the difference when you are trying to get through a hard time. And so that's the second thing that I would pass off to you after this experience. And the last thing that I'm going to pass off is so a friend of mine, someone I actually went to college with, is also an incredible life and relationship coach. Her name's Jewel Holman. I always feel like I mess up her last name though. And she said something that's really been flowing through my head the last couple days, which is your relationships with someone is your thoughts about them. And I've really been sitting with that. I've really been thinking about that, because just on the practical level, it's true. Like what you think about a person and what you think your relationship is with that person isn't your version of the relationship. But also on the flip side of that, it means that if a person passes, your thoughts about them is the line to the relationship with them. I also bring in a spiritual element for myself. I am a spiritual person, and I think that it's not only just the thoughts, but it's also the feelings and the energetic connection to them. But this was an incredible gem of wisdom that I heard her say. And you can still have relationships. You can still send good energy even when someone has passed, even if someone is no longer on our physical plane. And so I've been doing that. I've been doing that. I go to the store, and my nan loved yellow roses. At her funeral, her funeral, I called it a going away party. In my head, I didn't say that out loud, but at that, there were so many yellow roses around. There's so many things that she loved, that she enjoyed. Hi, the subject is relationship and life lessons I learned after my nan has passed away. So thanks for coming on. I hope you have coffee or tea and that you're enjoying your morning. Yeah, it's a lovely heavier topic for a Thursday, isn't it? Oh my God, the Aquarius in me is like buzzing. I'm like, yes, let's do a introspective, heavy topic for our Thursday morning chats. I hope your coffee is strong enough. Anyway, my nan loved yellow roses, and so we went to the store yesterday, and I love yellow roses even before I knew my nan loved yellow roses. And so I went to the store, and my partner and we got a bouquet of yellow roses. And to me, that's such that hits on deep connection to my grandmother. Outside are two rose bushes that are yellow roses, and it's that connection. This locket is her locket. I wear it around my neck so often nowadays. And it's when a relationship ends, that doesn't have, like when someone dies, that doesn't have to be the end of the relationship. There are still ways that you can feel connected to them. And I think that the more that you take those steps and those actions, you can feel more connected to them. And that has been so healing to me on this journey, especially moving through. And there are so many different dynamics to my life at the minute of running a business and supporting clients, and also going through my own personal growth arcs and journeys, and having those moments where I can connect with her has been so powerful in smoothing the transition forward for me. And so I'm very grateful for that. I also, another thought that popped into my head was yesterday. I was at the pottery studio, and while she was sick, I asked her if she wanted a mug made for her. And I didn't have time to complete the mug before she passed, but now it's been glazed, and it's been glazed in the color that she wanted it. And eventually I'll send it over for someone to put on her grave. And it's like those things, those actions, those little rituals really soothe the heart in moving forward. And so this can be applied not only to death, but I also think this can be applied to breakups or to relationships after they've ended. Can you create rituals for yourself to move forward? Can you create those anchoring moments for yourself to move forward and to soothe your heart and to make you smile? Because I think that again just makes all the difference when you're grieving and when you're in pain to move forward. So I wanted to pass that off as well. All right. I think those were the main things that I wanted to share today. But thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope that this supported you, and I hope that these big life lessons can be woven into your life as well, because we don't need death or birth to rock our world. You know, we can choose to learn the lessons of the world around us and other people's experiences to really, really greatly enhance our lives. And that is my deep wish, is that from my experience, you can glean something from it and apply it to your own life so that you can have a really incredible relationship and a really incredible life, because we're not here for a long time, but hopefully we're here for a good time. And I want it to be a good time while you're here. I want it to be as fulfilling as possible for you. Oh, shaking. I want it to be as fulfilling as possible for you. So just to recap, if someone's important to you, prioritize them and do what you can for them to feel that. Communication is so important, especially in terms of crisis. So learn all the skills you can. And creating those little rituals for yourself, creating those little moments of connection and healing is so powerful when you're moving forward through grief. So thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with me this Thursday morning. I know this was a heavier chat here today, and I wanted to share it because it's been the background of my work, and I don't want to shy away from the human experience. I think that in life there's also death, and pretending that it doesn't affect us takes away the human. And when I get down to the nitty-gritty work of what I do, is I support humans. I support humans and the human experience. And a big part of the human experience is relationships and connecting with other people. And so if you feel like in your human experience right now that you're feeling insecure, you're doubting yourself, you're questioning what you're saying in social situations, you are still thinking about relationships that have hurt you and the words that people have said and the actions, and they're playing in your mind like a movie, and the inner critic is just coming out every single day. And if you don't want to feel that way, if you want to feel confident, if you want to feel secure, if you want to feel powerful, if you want to have the relationship that you absolutely adore, if you want to have the community, the friendships around you that you love, I want to help you. I want to help you have that, because I think it is the most important thing to have incredible self-love and to have incredible relationships in our lifetime. So if you are struggling with that and you don't want to be anymore, please reach out to me, because I know I can help you. Just send me a message on Facebook, send me a message on Instagram. Let me know a little bit about what's coming up for you, because I would love to help you through this, because there is a way through this. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.